Hey, what is up? This is Sunny, and today we discuss why do a lot of women fall for bad boys and losers. And this question has come from a man, and I'm not surprised at all. As someone who is in the profession of therapy, I do not really like the word bad boy, or I don't like that phrase, don't like the phrase losers, because I like to look at the latent potential that each person has in them, and that is limitless potential. Having said that, the question itself begs to be answered: why do a lot of women fall for bad boys and losers? If you're a man and you've been wondering, why is it that you have so many women on your speed dial as friends? 3 a.m. friends, they call you and talk to you and they'll cry about all of their miserable events in life. Uh, but somehow you don't have that one intimate, fulfilling relationship at all levels with a woman. The same goes for you if you're a woman, and maybe you have a lot of guy friends whom you can call as your 4 a.m. buddies. You can talk about your troubles, but somehow these guys don't translate into your man. And sometimes you find that the men that you're dating turn out to be those proverbial bad guys. And why is it that this repeats again and again? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you are not successful in your career or you're not doing well in other areas of your life. And if you're just wondering, like, why is it this is happening to me? Well, you might get some answers here. This topic is vast. We can keep talking about it all day long, but I want to just condense it down to two reasons that I have come across in my experience, in my own reading, in my conversations with people in my work. Those two reasons are: one, energies and their natures in both men and women, and number two, it is about the subconscious patterns that we carry in us. Okay, so let's look at them one by one. Let me just draw your attention to the bad boys. Now, when you look at a bad boy, whatever that is, what's a typical impression that you have about this person? Okay, he's someone who is not afraid to dominate. He is not afraid of violence. He is not afraid of doing random weird stuff. Completely unabashed. That's my understanding of a bad boy. So why is it that successful women also, the women who are doing really well, just go back home or go back to these typical characters? If you try to look at it through the lens of energies, then we'll talk about feminine versus the masculine energy. And again, very vast topic, so I'm going to cut it down to just few points. The feminine energy is attracted towards qualities like being led, and second is decisiveness. Okay, there are many qualities, but let's just talk about these two for now. If this disturbs your politics, if this disturbs your ideology, do not worry, it's perfectly fine. I understand, I can empathize how you feel about it, okay? And I also understand why would you feel this way. Because of so many years of patriarchy and the kind of oppression that has happened in the name of patriarchy, I can understand that. But if you were to really be honest, even about women who have certain ideology and certain politics about these things, if you really look within, you will notice that there is a sense of attraction that a lot of women, most women who have that connection with their feminine towards being led and towards decisiveness that you see in a bad boy. Okay. Um, sometimes you'll find women just being okay with being led down into complete destruction by some of these guys. Is that a great thing? No, not at all. Okay. Sometimes women will just happily give away the responsibility of taking decision to some of these guys. Is that a great thing? Not at all. But the point I'm trying to draw attention to is these two things. Okay. Um, Whereas if you're a guy and you're thinking, I am so accommodating, even when I'm going to the restaurant, I'm letting her choose. Well, great. It's good to ask. And as an example of being decisive, it's good to ask your partner what would she like to eat and let her make a decision. But sometimes she doesn't want to decide, and she might just say, you know what, just pick whatever you want. Just decide. Now, here's a time when you just take a decision and not try to push it back on her, say, you decide. That can be pretty annoying. Okay, and understand that decision making is a task of spending energy. Okay, making decision is energy tasking task. So it's important that if the woman is asking you to lead or take a decision, take it yourself. As it is, she's deciding many things throughout the day. Take that decision. She would appreciate you for that. Leading also means, number one, leading your own life. Okay, being a leader in your own life, showing up for yourself, being clear about your own mission and purpose in life. These are things that set you apart. Do the bad boys have these qualities? Not necessarily, but the way it shows up, the way it manifests in them is through absolute brute dominance. And that is something which the feminine energy gets drawn to. Is it a precise manifestation of the masculine energy? No, but at least they make decisions. At least they will lead, not necessarily in the right direction, but they are willing to do that. However, if as a man you're not leading, again, there are reasons why you're not leading your own life in the first place, and you're not being decisive, again, there are reasons why you're not being decisive in your life, then that kind of energy can really, really irritate the feminine in her. That is why those energies are good for friend zoning. And let me tell you this, if you are in the 4 a.m. club with some women and you're hoping that somehow you'll make a transition from the friend zone club to her bed to an intimate relationship with her, forget about it. Because in most cases, that is not going to happen. Okay, most of the times, if you're friend zoned, you will remain friend zoned because you are a proverbial nice guy, and they don't want that. They want something else. Point number two is subconscious pattern. Now, as a woman, let's say if you have been surrounded by men all throughout your life, all throughout your childhood, who were of certain patterns, certain mindsets, certain behaviors, then you have been conditioned to look for those men. So to speak, your entire compass is conditioned for that. Let's say if you have only eaten bread for starch, for your carbohydrates all your life, then you might find eating rice as an alternative even difficult to consider. Okay, so much like that, because all your life you have met men in your family, in your friend circle from your childhood of a certain category. When you're out in the world, if you come across a balanced man who is very well balanced in his energies, you might just skip him because he doesn't fit your criterion of the man. Okay, and that criterion could have both good and bad qualities that you're looking for in man. And it's not conscious, it's very subconscious. Okay, that's something, that's a second reason why women fall for that. Now, I use the word domination here, and that can really disturb and irk a lot of people's politics. Like, how can you talk about domination? Now, hold on a second. When I'm talking about domination, I'm not talking in terms of invasion. I'm not talking in terms of, hey, now be my bitch. No, that's not a domination I'm talking about. Think a new paradigm. Domination in the sense of, let's say, salsa. Okay, you have a man, you have a woman. They are creating beautiful act together, but one has to lead. Okay, the masculine has to lead the feminine. Why is that? Well, that's the way the dance has been designed. There could be multiple reasons. There's energetic reason. There's also physical reason, because where he is leading, he has to lift the woman, spin her around, do many things. Far easier for for an individual who's bigger, right? Far easier for a man to do that part. And what does it allow them to do? Create something beautiful together. Okay, when the dancer, the man in the dance leads her really well, she opens up and she can really, really express herself beautifully. Okay, that's what I mean by domination. So when I'm talking about this thing, it is about a relationship where a man can take decisions if he needs to. A woman can be a CEO. She can be really powerful in the world, but she needs that one space in the whole wide world where she can come and just relax, let go and be herself, open up. And a relationship like that, which allows her to fully express herself and fully be radiant and feminine, is when a man has the gumption to lead and also to be decisive without any apologies about it as a man. So, really speaking, what I'm trying to say is what the world needs is not a bunch of dominating morons right now. The world really needs a lot of radiant women, women who are fully embodying their feminine. And there is something interesting about the feminine energy, and that is that it is not fully manifested, it is not fully opened up until it meets with a very strong masculine leading decisive force. That's when that happens. So what we really need are men who can, by the way, I use the word again, dominate responsibly. And dominate, like I said, does not mean to put someone lower than yourself, but by leading, by being decisive, by taking charge only in order to enable complete openness. Let me give an example here. Now, when I'm in therapy and I'm working with a client, I'm not the high-fiving, hugging kind of a therapist. I have to assume a certain position of authority, and it's important because let's say someone sitting opposite me on a chair is opening up about their problem to somebody else for the first time, maybe in decades. They really want to know at a subconscious level that they can trust me. So the authority allows them to know this man knows what he's doing. But at the same time, authority does not mean I come with judgment. Authority means that there are no judgments. Okay? I will take care of you, I'll protect you, be open. There's nothing you can tell me that's going to make me go like, oh, absolutely nothing. So similarly, in a relationship, when a man is leading, authority does not mean curbing someone's rights and freedoms. Absolutely not. It means giving them the space to really open up and be themselves. There is a need that she has to open up. And when she is not doing that in that one safe space that you could create for her, she's going to go and do it with everybody else in parts. So, in front of her colleagues, she can't tell no, and she can't be strong enough. In front of her neighbors, she can't be strong. In front of her family members, she can't be strong enough because everywhere else she is nodding her head to say yes. If only you could give her the space, not as a bad boy, not as a loser, but as a dominant, devoted man, well, she would open up and she would be fully radiant, which enables her to be completely in her power, not to take bullshit and crap outside of her relationship. She can completely be a leader even while being fully radiant and feminine. So I hope that this answers the question about why do a lot of women fall for bad boys and losers. Two reasons: energies. If she does not find a man whom she can trust, then well, she'll just go for the first dominating guy, even if he is leading her to doom. And two is because of her own conditioning, which is in her subconscious. Both of these things can be easily addressed with the help of a professional, with the help of some self work. All right. Thanks so much for being with me. Take care.